Hey friend, today we're gonna do some batch cooking. I love doing batch cooking because not only does it save me time, but it also saves me a lot of money. But before we get started, if you're new here, my name is Gina, I'm the Saving Wiz, and I help you save money on groceries and everyday expenses. So make sure you're subscribed if you like saving money the easy way. Let's go ahead and get started.
Now this is going to be a fast-paced video because I want to get all of this done in real time using only 2 hours of my weekend. The rest of the time I want to spend with my family. So the 3 recipes that I'm making today are chicken and broccoli casserole, meat and potato casserole, and meatballs and potato stew. And that's different than the meat and potato casserole, you'll see. Right now I am cubing chicken breasts. I'm going to season them with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. In a skillet, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of clarified butter, and I use clarified butter for the higher smoking point, and I saute all of my chicken. I like to pre-cook my chicken because it takes less time in the oven this way. I've steamed my broccoli in the microwave for about 5 to 6 minutes, and now I'm adding in the chicken to the casserole. Now, this sauce has been made in several different ways, but this is the way that I like to make it. I use 1 can of cream of chicken soup. You can use homemade versions if you have, and about 1/4 cup of mayo. The recipe sometimes will call for more than that, about 1/2 cup, so use as much mayo as you want depending on what you like. I'm using about 1/4 cup here. Once that's all mixed up, I add it to the chicken, and this is my favorite part because this is what makes it creamy. I'm going to smooth it out just to make sure that every single part of that casserole is covered. Now I'm going to add shredded sharp cheddar cheese. This is my favorite type of cheese to use, but you can use whatever you have on hand. I'm using about 1 cup to 1.5 cups here. And here's the good part. I'm using Italian croutons instead of Italian breadcrumbs. It saves a couple steps for me because it's already seasoned and it has a little bit of oil, so it will brown really nicely in the oven. I'm going to bake this at 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes or until it looks golden brown like this. Next, I'm going to focus on the other 2 recipes. I'm putting clarified butter, about 1/2 tablespoon, in both the skillet and the pot. And I'm adding about 1/2 an onion chopped to each. I just want the onions to sweat for a couple of minutes before I add the next ingredients. To the skillet, I'm going to add in my stew meat. You can use whatever type of inexpensive cut of meat you have. It will work perfectly in this dish. I'm seasoning it with a little bit of lemon pepper, and truth be told, I should have seasoned it a little bit more because it needed it. So make sure you season it well. In the pot, I'm adding 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, and I've seasoned that with salt and pepper. I'm covering that up and I'm putting it on low so that it can simmer for exactly 7 minutes. Yes, I put it on a timer because I don't want to lose track of any of these dishes. Once my meat has browned, I add an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce to the skillet as well. Then I fill the can with water and add that to the skillet. Make sure you don't spill it like I did. This will help us deglaze the pan too. Once it comes up to a boil, I cover it, put it on medium-low, and let it simmer for about 30 minutes to get tender. Now on to our potatoes. I'm peeling 5 potatoes here. 1/2 of the potatoes will be cut in discs and the other 1/2 will be cubed. Because remember, we're using these potatoes for 2 different dishes. And don't you wish you can actually go that fast? I would love to do that in real time. Now my timer has just went off, and now I'm going to add the cubed potatoes to the pot after I put 2 cans of water. The reason why I'm adding the water is so that the potatoes have enough moisture and liquid that they can tenderize. I'm going to mix it, put it on medium-high, and then I'm going to slightly cover it so that there's a little bit of space between the pot and the lid so that it doesn't reduce too much. Now I'm going on to the meatballs. I have 1 pound of lean ground beef, 93.7, and I've added about 1/4 of a chopped onion, 2 tablespoons of rice flour, some salt, some pepper, and some garlic powder, and I mix. I'm using rice flour because it's traditional to our meatballs, but you can use breadcrumbs if you like. Rice flour just makes it so tender. And I'm going to make them into 1-inch balls. And I'm putting it on a lined cookie sheet. It's also going to go in the oven at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, which is perfect because my chicken and broccoli casserole is already at 400 degrees right now. So my oven's doing double duty. Once the potatoes are tender, I can add in my meatballs. I did end up adding about a can of water to this mixture because the sauce was a little too thick and there wasn't a lot of sauce to go around, and I really want it to be saucy and delicious. And the meatballs usually will thicken the sauce even more, so you want to add a little bit more moisture. Then we go on to the third casserole. I have the discs of potatoes in this 8x8 casserole dish. I add in that meat stew and I add about a can of water. This will help the potatoes get tender and the beef to continue cooking. This also goes in the oven at 400 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes until everything is tender. And here are the 3 dishes.
And as easy as that, you have 3 delicious meals ready to go for your busy weeknight, and you're gonna be able to feed your family well. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe so that you can start saving money the easy way and start having more money for the things you love. I'll see you in the next video.